So shaken as we are, so worn with care, find we a time for frighted peace to pant, breathe short-winded accents of new broils to be commenced in strands afar remote. No more the thirsty entrance of this soil shall daub her lips with her own children's blood. No more shall trenching war channel her fields, bruise her flowers with the armed hoofs of hostile paces. Those opposed eyes, which, like the meteors of a troubled heaven, all of one nature, of one substance bred, did lately meet in the intestine shock and furious close of civil butchery, shall now, in mutual well-beseeming ranks, march all one way, and be no more opposed against acquaintance, kindred, and allies. The edge of war, like a ill-sheathed knife, no more shall cut his master. Therefore, friends, as far as to the sepulchre of Christ, whose soldier now, under whose blessed cross we are impressed and engaged to fight, forthwith the power of English shall we levy, whose arms were moulded in their mother's womb, to chase these pagans in those holy fields, over whose acres walked those blessed feet which 1400 years ago were nailed for our advantage on the bitter cross. This our purpose is now 12 months old, and bootless 'tis to tell you we will go. Therefore we meet not now. Then let me hear of you, my gentle cousin Westmoreland, what yesternight our council did decree in forwarding this dear expedience.
My liege, this haste was hot in question, and many limits of the charge sit down but yesternight, when all athwart there came a post from Wales, loaden with heavy news, whose worst was, that the noble Mortimer, lading the men of Herefordshire to feat against the irregular and wheeled Glendower, was by the rude hands of that Welshman taken, 1,000 of his people butchered, upon whose dead corpse there was such abuse, such beastly, shameless transformation by those Welsh women done, as may not be without much shame retold or spoken of.
It seems then that the tidings of this broil break off our business for the Holy Land.
This matched with other did, my gracious lord, for more unaven and unwelcome news came from the north, and thus it did import. On Holyrood Day, the gallant Hotspur there, young Harry Percy, and brave Archibald, that ever valiant and approved Scot at Holmdon met, and there did spend a sad and bloody hour, as by discharge of their artillery in shape of likelihood the news was told, for he that brought them in the very heat and pride of their contention did take horse, uncertain of the issue any way.
Here is a dear, a true industrious friend, Sir Walter Blunt, new lighted from his horse, stained with the variation of each soil betwixt that Holmdon and this seat of ours. And he hath brought us smooth and welcome news. The Earl of Douglas is discomfited. 10,000 bold Scots, 22 knights balked in their own blood did Sir Walter see on Holmdon's plains. Of prisoners, Hotspur took Mordick, Earl of Fife, an eldest son to Beaton Douglas, and the Earl of Athol, Murray, Angus, and Menteith. And is not this an honourable spoil, a gallant prize? Ha, cousin, is it not?
Faith, it is a conquest for a prince. To boast of.
That makes me sad, and makes me sin and envy that my lord Northumberland should be the father to so blessed a son who is the theme of honour's tongue. Amongst a grove the very straightest plant, who is sweet Fortune's minion and her bride. Must I, by looking on the praise of him, see riot and dishonour stain the brow of my young Harry? Oh, that it could be proved that some night-tripping fairy had exchanged in cradle clothes our children where they lay, and called mine Percy his Plantagenet, then would I have his Harry, and he mine. No, but let him from my thoughts. What think you, Gus, of this young Percy's pride? The prisoners which thee in this adventure hath surprised, to his own use he keeps, and sends me word I shall have none but Mordick, Earl of Fife.
This is his uncle's teaching. This is Worcester, malevolent to you in all aspects, which makes him prune himself and bristle up the crest of youth against your dignity.
But I shall send for him to answer this. And for this cause a while we must neglect our holy purpose to Jerusalem. Cousin, on Wednesday next our council we will hold at Windsor, so inform the Lords. But come yourself with speed to us again, for more is to be said and to be done than out of anger can be uttered.
I will, my liege.
What time of day is it, lad?
Not so fat-witted with drinking of old sack, and unbuttoning the after-supper, and sleeping upon benches afternoon. But thou hast forgotten to demand that truly which thou wouldst truly know. What the devil hast thou to do with the time of the day? Unless hours were cups of sack, and minutes capons, and clocks the tongues of boards, and dials the signs of leaping houses, and the blessed sun himself a fair hot wench in flame-coloured taffeta. I see no reason why thou shouldst be so superfluous to demand the time of day.
Indeed, thou comest near me now, Hal. For we that take Percy's go by the moon and the 7 stars, and not by Phoebus he, that wandering knight so fair. But I prithee, sweet wag, when thou art king, as God save thy grace, Majesty, I should say, for grace thou wilt have none.
What, none?
No, by my troth, not so much as will serve to be prologue to an egg and butter.
Well, how then, come roundly. Roundly.
Well, marry then, sweet wag, when thou art king, let not us, that be squires of the night's body, be called thieves of the day's beauty. Let us be Diana's foresters, gentlemen of the shade, minions of the moon, and let men say that we be men of good government, being governed as the sea is by our chaste and noble mistress the moon, under whose countenance we steal.
Thus as well. And it holds well, too, for the fortunes of us that are the moon's men, that ebb and flow like the sea, being governed as the sea is by the moon. That's for proof now. A purse of gold most resolutely snatched on Monday night, and most dissolutely spent on Tuesday morning, got with swearing lay by, and spent with crying bring in. Now in as low an ebb as the foot of the ladder, and by in as high a flow as the ridge of the gallows.
Oh, my lord, thou speakest truly. And tell me, is not min hostess of the tavern a most sweet wench?
As the hunting of Hippler, my old lad of the castle. And is not a buff jerky in the most sweet robe of durance?
Well, how now, mad wag, what are thy quits and thy quiddities? What a plague have I to do with a buff
jerky.
Ah, what a pox am I to do with my hostess of the tavern?
Well, thou hast called it to a reckoning many a time and oft.
Did I ever call for thee to pay thy part?
Oh, no, I'll give thee thy due. Thou hast paid all there.
Yeah, and elsewhere, as far as my coin would stretch. And where it would not, I've used my credit.
Ah, and so used it that were it not here apparent that thou art heir apparent. But I pray thee, sweet wag, shall there be gallows standing in England when thou art king, and resolution thus fubbed as it is with the rusty curb of old Father Antic the law? Oh, no, do not thou, when thou art king, hang a thief?
No, thou shalt.
Shall I? Oh, well, by the Lord, I'll be a brave judge.
Well, thou judgest false already. I mean, thou shalt have the hanging of the thieves, and so become a rare hangman.
Well, and in some sort it jumps with me humour as much as waiting in the court, I can tell you.
For obtaining of suits.
Aye, for obtaining of suits, whereof the hangman hath no lean wardrobe. Blood. I'm as melancholy as a gib-cat or a lug-bear.
Or an old lion or a lover's lute.
Aye, or the drone of a Lincolnshire bagpipe.
What says thou to a hare or the melancholy of Moorditch?
Oh, thou hast the most unsavoury similes, and art indeed the most comparative rascalliest. Sweet young prince. I prithee, hell, trouble me no more with vanity. I would to God thou and I knew where a commodity of good names might be found. An old lord of the council rated me in the street the other day about you, sir, but I marked him not. Yet he talked very wisely, but I regarded him not, and yet he talked wisely, and in the street too.
That is well. For wisdom cries out in the street, and no man regards it.
Thou hast the most damnable iteration. And art indeed able to corrupt a saint. Oh, thou'st wrought much harm upon me, Hal. God forgive thee for it. Before I knew thee, I knew nothing. And now am I, if a man speak the truth, little better than one of the wicked. But I must give over this life, and I will give it over. If I do not, I am a villain. I'll be damned for ne'er any king's son in Christendom.
Where shall we take a purse tomorrow, Jack?
Why, where thou wilt, I'll make one.
I see a good amendment of life in thee from praying to purse-taking.
Well, Hal, it's my vacation, Hal. It's no sin for a man to labour in his vacation. Poins, now shall we know if Gad's Hill has set a match. Here comes the veriest villain that ever cried stand to a true man.
Good morning, Ned.
Morrow, sweet hell. What says Monsieur Remorse? What says Sir John Sack and Sugar? Jack, how agrees the devil in thee about thy soul that thou soldst him on Good Friday last for a cup of Madeira and a cold capon's leg?
But, my lads, tomorrow morning, 4 o'clock, early at Gad's Hill, there are pilgrims going to Canterbury with rich offerings, traders riding to London with fat purses. I've visors for you all, you've horses for yourselves. Gad's Hill lies tonight in Rochester, and I've bespoke supper tomorrow night in Eastcheap. If you'll go, I'll stuff your purses full of crowns. If you will not, tarry at home and be hanged.
Hear ye, Edward, if I tarry here and go not, I'll hang you for going.
Oh, you will, chops.
Well, Hal, wilt thou make one?
Who I rob, I a thief? Not I, by my faith.
Thou's neither honesty, manhood, nor good fellowship in thee, nor came thou not of the blood royal, if thou dared stand for 10 shillings.
Well, then, once in my days, I'll be a man.
Ah, that's well said!
Well, come what will, I'll tarry at home.
Nay, by the Lord, if thou dost that, I'll be a traitor when thou art king.
I cannot.
Sir John, I prithee leave the prince and me alone. I will lay him down such reasons for this adventure that he shall go.
Well, God give thee the spirit of reasoning and persuasion, and him the ears of profiting. What thou sayest may move, what he hears may be believed, that the true prince, for recreation's sake, prove a false thief, and the poor abusers of the time want countenance. Well, thou shalt find me in Eastcheap.
Farewell, thou latter spring. Farewell, all hallowed summer.
Now, my good sweet honey lord, ride with us tomorrow. I've a jest to execute that I cannot manage alone. Falstaff, Bardolph, Peto and Gadzill shall rob those men we've already waylaid. Yourself and I will not be there. And then when they have the booty, if you and I do not rob them, cut this head from off the shoulders.
How shall we part with them in setting forth?
Why, we will set forth before or after them and appoint them a place of meeting, wherein it is at our pleasure to fail. And then they will adventure forth upon the exploits themselves, which they shall have no sooner accomplished, but we'll set upon them.
Yeah, but 'tis like they'll know us by our horses, by our habits, by every other appointment, to be ourselves.
Our horses they shall not see, our time in the wood. Our visors we will change after we leave them, and sit up. Our cases of buckram for the nonce, to enmask our noted outward garments.
Yeah, but I doubt they'll be too hard for us.
Well, for two of them, and to be as true-bred cards as ever turned back. And for the third, if he fight longer than he sees reason, I'll forswear arms.
But the virtue of this jest will be the incomprehensible lies this same fat rogue will tell when we meet at supper. Our 30 at least, if fought with what wards, what blows, what extremities he endured. And in the reproof of this lies the jest.
Well, I will go with thee. Provide us all things necessary and meet me tomorrow night in Eastcheap. There I'll sup.
My lord.
Farewell.
Farewell, my lord.
I know you all, and will a while uphold the unyoked humor of your idleness. Yet herein will I imitate the sun, who doth permit the base contagious clouds to smother up his beauty from the world, that when he please again to be himself, being wanted, he may be more wondered at, by breaking through the foul and ugly mists of vapours that did seem to strangle him. If all the year were playing holiday, to sport would be as tedious as to work. But when they seldom come, they wished for come, and nothing pleaseth but rare accidents. So, when this loose behaviour I throw off, and pay the debt I never promised, by how much better than my word I am, by so much shall I falsify men's hopes, and like bright metal on the sullen ground, my reformation, glittering o'er my fault, shall show more goodly and attract more eyes than that which hath no foil to set it off. I'll so offend, to make offence a skill, redeeming time when men think least I will.
Cold and temperate, unapt to stir at these indignities, and you have found me, for accordingly you tread upon my patience. But be sure I will from henceforth rather be myself mighty, and to be feared. My condition, which hath been smooth as oil, soft as young down, and therefore lost that title of respect, which the proud soul ne'er pays but to the proud.
Our house, my sovereign liege, little deserves the scourge of greatness to be used on it. And that same greatness, too, which our own hands have helped to make so portly.
My Lord Worcester, get thee gone, for I do see danger and disobedience in thine eye. Oh, sir, your presence is too bold and peremptory, and majesty might never yet endure the moody frontier of a servant brow. You have good leave to leave us. When we need your use and counsel, we shall send for you. You were about to speak.
Yea, my good lord. Those prisoners in your highness' name demanded, which Harry Percy here at Holmdon took, were, as he says, not with such strength denied as is delivered to your majesty. Either envy, therefore, or misprision is guilty of this fault, and not my son.
My liege, I did deny no prisoners, but
I remember when the fight was done, when I was dry with rage and extreme toil, breathless and faint, leaning upon my sword, came there a certain lord, neat and trimly dressed, fresh as a bridegroom, and his chin new reaped showed like a stubble land at harvest home. He was perfumed like a milliner, and twixt his finger and his thumb he held the ponce box, which ever and anon he gave his nose, and took it away again. Who there was angry when next it came there, took it in snuff. And still he smiled and talked, and as the soldiers bore dead bodies by, he called them untaught knaves, unmannerly, to bring a slovenly, unhandsome corse betwixt the wind and his nobility. With many holyday and lady terms he questioned me, amongst the rest, demanded my prisoners in your majesty's behalf. I then, all smarting with my wounds being cold, to be so pestered with a popinjay, out of my grief and my impatience, answered neglectingly, I know not what he should or he should not. For he made me mad, to see him shine so brisk, and smell so sweet, and talk so like a waiting gentlewoman of guns and drums and wounds, God save the mark, and telling me the sovereignest thing on earth was parmacetti for an inward bruise, and that it was great pity, so it was, this villain of saltpetre should be digged out of the bowels of the harmless earth, which many a good tall fellow had destroyed so cowardly, and, but for these vile guns, he would himself have been a soldier. For this bald, unjointed chat of his, my lord, I answered indirectly, as I said. And I beseech you, let not his report come current for an accusation betwixt my love and your high majesty.
The circumstance considered, good my lord, whate'er Lord Harry Percy then had said to such a person, and in such a place, at such a time, with all the rest retold, may reasonably die, and never rise to do him wrong, or any way impeach what then he said. So he unsay it now.
Why? Yet he doth deny his prisoners, but with proviso and exception that we at our own charge shall ransom straight his brother-in-law, the foolish Mortimer, who on my soul hath wilfully betrayed the lives of those that he did lead to fight against that great magician, Dan Glendower, whose daughter, as we hear, that Earl of March hath lately married. Shall our coffers then be emptied to redeem a traitor home? Shall we buy treason, indent with fears when they have lost and forfeited themselves? No, on the barren mountains let him starve. For I shall never hold that man, my friend, whose tongue shall ask me for 1 penny cost to ransom home revolted Mortimer.
Revolted Mortimer? He never did fall off, my sovereign liege, but by the chance of war. To prove that true needs no more but 1 tongue, for all those wounds, those mouthed wounds, which valiantly he took when on the gentle Severn sedgy bank, in single opposition hand to hand, he did confound the best part of an hour in changing Hardiman with great Glendower.
Thou dost belie him, Percy, thou dost belie him. He never did encounter with Glendower, I tell thee. He dost as well have met the devil alone as Owen Glendower for an enemy. I'm not ashamed. But, sirrah, henceforth let me not hear you speak of Mortimer. Send me your prisoners with the speediest means, or you will hear in such a kind from me as will displease you. My Lord Northumberland, we license your departure with your son. Send us your prisoners, or you will hear of it.
If the devil come and roar for them, I will not send them. I will after straight and tell him so, for I will ease my heart, albeit I make a hazard of my head. Oh, drunk with choler, stay and pause a while. Here comes your uncle. Speak of Mortimer. Zoons, I will speak of him. Let my soul want mercy if I do not join with him. Yea, on his part, I'll empty all these veins and shed my dear blood, drop by drop in the dust. But I will lift the downtrodden Mortimer as high in the air as this unthankful king, as this ingrate and cankered Bolingbroke.
Brother, the king hath made your nephew mad.
Who struck this heat up after I was gone?
He will forsooth have all my prisoners. And when I urged the ransom once again of my wife's brother, then his cheek looked pale, and on my face he turned an eye of death, trembling even at the name of Mortimer.
I cannot blame him. Was he not proclaimed by Richard that dead is the next of blood?
He was. I heard the proclamation. And then it was when the unhappy king, whose wrongs in us God pardoned, did set forth upon his Irish expedition, from whence he intercepted did return to be deposed and shortly murdered.
And for whose death we in the world's wide mouth live scandalized and foully spoken of.
But soft, I pray you, did King Richard then proclaim my brother Edmund Mortimer heir to the crown?
He did, myself did hear it.
Nay, then I cannot blame his cousin king that wished him on the barren mountain starve. What shall it be that you that set the crown upon the head of this forgetful man? Shall it for shame be spoken in these days that men of your nobility and power did gauge them both in an unjust behalf, to put down Richard, that sweet, lovely rose, and plant this thorn, this cankered Bolingbroke? No. Yet time serves wherein you may redeem your banished honours and restore yourselves into the good thoughts of the world again. Revenge the jeering and disdain contempt of this proud king who studies day and night, to answer all the debt he owes to you, even with the bloody payments of your debts. Therefore I say,
Please, cousin, say no more. And now, I will unclasp a secret book, and to your quick-conceiving discontents I read you matter deep and dangerous, as full of peril and adventurous spirit as to o'erwalk a current roaring loud on the unsteadfast footing of a spear.
if he fall in, good night. Or sink, or swim, send danger from the east unto the west, so honor cross it from the north to south, and let them grapple.
Imagination of some great exploit drives him beyond the bounds of patience.
By heaven, methinks it were an easy leap to pluck bright honor from the pale-faced moon, or dive into the bottom of the deep where fathom line could never touch the ground, and pluck up drowned honor by the locks, so he that doth redeem her thence might wear without rival all her dignities. But out upon this half-faced fellowship!
He apprehends a world of figures here, but not the form of what he should attend. Good cousin, give me audience for a while.
I cry you mercy.
Those same noble Scots that are your prisoners.
I'll keep them all. By God, he shall not have a Scot of them.
You start away and lend no ear unto my purposes. Those prisoners you shall keep.
Nay, I will, that's flat. He said he would not ransom Mortimer, forbade my tongue to speak of Mortimer. But I will find him when he lies asleep, and in his ear, I'll holler, Mortimer! Nay, I'll have a starling so he taught to speak nothing but Mortimer! And give it him to keep his anger still in motion.
Here, you cousin, a word.
All studies here I solemnly defy, save for the gall and pinch this Bolingbroke, and that same sword and buckler, Prince of Wales. But that I think his father loves him not, and would be glad he met with some mischance. I would have him poisoned with a pot of ale.
Farewell, kinsman. I'll talk to you when you're better tempered to attend.
Why, what a wasp-stung and impatient fool art thou to break into this woman's mood, tying thine ear to no tongue but thine own.
Why, look you, I'm pricked and scourged, nettled and stung with piss-vials when I hear of this vile politician Bolingbroke. In Richard's time, what do you call it? A plague upon it. It is in Gloucestershire. 'Twas where the nightcap duke his uncle kept, his uncle York, where I first bowed my knee unto this king of smiles, this Bolingbroke. Blood, when you and he came back from Ravenspa.
At Berkeley Castle.
Ah, you say true. Aye, what a candy deal of courtesy this fawning greyhound then did proffer me. Look when his infant fortune came to age. And gentle Harry Percy, and kind cousin. Oh, the devil take such cousiners! God forgive me. Good uncle, tell your tale. I have done.
Nay, you have not to again. We'll stay your leisure.
I have done, faith.
Then once more to your Scottish prisoners. Deliver them up without their ransom straight, and make the Douglas son your only mean for powers in Scotland, which for divers reasons, which I will send you written, will easily be granted. You, my lord, your son in Scotland being thus employed, shall secretly into the bosom creep of that same noble prelate, well beloved, the Archbishop.
Of York, is it not?
True. Who bears hard his brother's death at Bristow, the Lord Scroop. I speak not this in estimation as to what I think might be, but what I know is ruminated, plotted, and set down, and only stays to but behold the face of that occasion that shall bring it on.
I smell it. Upon my life, it will do well.
Before the game is afoot, thou still let slip.
Why, you cannot choose but your noble plot, and then the power of Scotland and of York to join with Mortimer, huh?
And so they shall.
In faith, it is exceedingly well aimed.
And 'tis no little reason bids us speed. To bear us as even as we can, the king will always think him in our debt, and we think ourselves unsatisfied till he hath found a time to pay us home. And see already how he doth begin to make us strangers to his looks of love.
He does, he does. We'll be revenged on him.
Farewell, cousin. No further go in this than I by letters shall direct your course.
Farewell, good brother. We shall thrive, I trust. Uncle, adieu. Well, let the owls be short, till fields and blows and grounds applaud our sport.
Hey ho. And it be not 4 by the day I'll be hanged. Charles's wain is there with a new chimney, and yet our horse is not packed. What else, lad?
Oh, no.
Well, Freddie Tom beat cut saddle. Put a few flocks in the point before Jade's wrung the withers out of all cess.
Bees and bees are as dank here as a dog. And that is the next way to give poor James the box. Oh, God.
This house is turned upside down since Robin Ostler died.
Poor fella. Never joyed since the price of oats rose. It was the death of him.
I think this would be the most villainous house in all London Road for fleas. I'm stung like a tench.
Like a tench? Why, the masses near a King Christen could be better bit than I've been since the first cock.
They'll allow us near a Jordan. Then we leak in your chimney and your chamber library eats fleas like a loach.
What else, lad? Come away and be hanged. Come away!
A gallon of bacon and 2 raisins of ginger to be delivered as far as Charing Cross.
Body, the turkeys in my pannier are quite starved. What else, lad? A plague on thee!
That's never an eye in thy head.
Canst not hear? And not as good as eat as drink to break the plate on thee, I'm a very villain. Come and be hanged, that's no faith in thee. Good morning, carriers. What's o'clock? I think it be 2 o'clock.
Oh, prithee, let me thy lantern. To see me gold in the stable.
Oh. Nay, by God's soft. I know a trick worth 2 of that, if I.
Oh, prithee, let me thine.
Aye, when canst tell? Lend me thy lantern, quothy. Marry, I'll see the hang first.
Sir Carrier, what time do you mean to come to London?
Time enough to go to bed with a candle, I warrant thee. Come, neighbour Muggs, we'll call up the gentlemen. They will along with company, for they have great charge.
Poins and be hanged. Poins.
Easy, fat ignorant rascal, what a brawling dost thou keep?
Where's Poins, hell?
He's walked up to the top of the hill. I'll go seek him.
I'm accursed to rob in that thief's company. He hath removed my horse and tied him I know not where. If I travel but 4 foot by the squire further afoot, I shall break me wind. Oh, well, I doubt not to die a fair death for all this if I escape hanging for killing that rogue. I have forsworn his company. Any time, hourly, these 22 years, and yet I am bewitched by the rogue's company. Poins! Bardolph! A plague upon it, when thieves cannot be true one to another. Oh, a plague upon you! Give me my horse, you rogues! Give me my horse and be hanged!
Fat guts! Lie down! Lay thine ear close to the ground and list if thou canst hear the tread of travellers.
Hast thou leavest to lift me up again, being down? No, I'll not carry mine own flesh so far afoot again for all the coin in thy father's exchequer.
Stang!
Oh, so I do against me will.
Bardolph! What news?
Casey, all the advice had there's money of the king's coming up the hill. 'Tis going to the king's exchequer.
You lie, you rogue, it's going to the king's tavern.
Sirs, you 4 shall front them in the narrow lane. Ned Poins and I will walk lower. If they escape from your encounter, then they light on us. How many be there of them? Some 8 or 10.
Oh, how much sounds may they not rob us?
What, a coward, Sir John Paunch?
Indeed, I am not John of Gaunt, your grandfather, and yet no coward, Hal.
Well, we'll leave that to the proof.
Oh, cannot I strike him if I should be hanged? Oh.
Well, this guy's here. Hard by. Stand close.
Now, my masters, happy men be as dole, say I, every man about his business.
We'll lead the horses down the hill. We'll walk a foot a while and ease our legs. Stand!
And then to horse before day. If the prince and Poins be not two arrant cowards, there's no equity stirring. That Poins has no more valour in him than a wild duck.
God with my cheese! Now meddle it to horse! Things are all scattered and possessed with fear so strongly that they dare not meet each other. Each takes his fellow for an officer. Away, good Ned. Forced up, sweats to death, and lards to lead earth as he walks along. Would not for laughing at all the horror of
But for mine own part, my lord, I could be well contented to be there, in respect of the love I bear your house. He could be contented, why is he not there? The purpose you undertake is dangerous.
Why, that, sir, 'tis dangerous to take a coal, to sleep, to drink. But I tell you, my lord fool, out of this nettle danger we pluck this flower safety. The purpose you undertake is dangerous. The friend you name uncertain. The time itself unsorted, and your whole plot too light for the counterpoise of so great an opposition. Say you so, and I say unto you again, you're a shallow coward behind and you lie. What a lack brain is this? By the Lord, our plot is a good plot as ever was laid, our friends true and constant. A good plot, good friends, and full of expectation. An excellent plot, very good friends. What a frosty-spirited rogue is this? Well, my Lord of York commends the plot, and the general course of the action. Zoons, and were I now by this rascal, I could drain him with his lady's fan. Is not my father, my uncle, and myself, Lord Edmund Mortimer, my Lord of York, and Owen Glendower? Is there not besides the Douglas? Have I not all their letters to meet me in arms for the 9th of the next month? And are they not some of them already started forward? What a pagan rascal is this, an infidel! Ah, you shall see now, in very sincerity of fear and cold heart, will he to the king and lay open all our proceedings. Hang him, let him tell the king. We are prepared. I will set forward tonight. How now, Kate? I must leave you within these 2 hours.
Oh, my good lord, why are you thus alone? For what offence have I this fortnight been a banished woman from my Harry's bed? Tell me, sweet lord, what is that takes from thee thy stomach, pleasure, and thy golden sleep? In thy faint slumbers I by thee have watched, and heard thee murmur tales of iron wars, speak terms of manage to thy bounding steed, cry courage to the field. And thou hast talked of sallies and retires, of trenches, tents, of prisoners' ransom, and of soldiers slain, and all the currents of a heady fight. Thy spirit within thee hath been so at war, and thus has so bestirred thee in thy sleep, that beads of sweat have stood upon thy brow like bubbles in a late disturbed stream. Some heavy business hath my lord in hand, and I must know it, else he loves me not.
What ho! Is James in the packet gone?
Yes, my lord, an hour ago.
The butler brought those horses from the sheriff.
One horse, my lord, he brought it even now.
What horse? A roan? A crop here, is it not?
It is, my lord.
That throne shall be my throne. Well, I will back him straight. Let's France!
Bid Butler lead him forth into the park.
But hear you, my lord.
What sayest thou, my lady?
What is it carries your way?
Why, my horse, my love, my horse.
Oh, out, you mad-headed ape. A weasel has not such a deal of spleen as you are tossed with. In faith, I'll know your business, Harry, that I will. I fear my brother Mortimer does stir about his title, and has sent for you to line his enterprise. But if you go...
So far afoot, I shall be weary now.
Come, your parakeeto. Answer me directly to this question that I ask. In faith, I'll break your little finger, Harry, that I will, and if thou wilt not, tell me all things.
Away, you trifler!
Love, I love thee not. I care not for thee, Kate. It is no world to play with mammoths and to tilt with lips. We must have bloody noses and cracked crowns, and pass them current too. God's me my horse.
Dost thou not love me? Dost thou not indeed? Well, do not then, for since thou wilt not love, I will not love myself. Dost thou not love me? Nay, tell me if thou speak in jest or no.
Come, wilt thou see me ride? And when I am a horseback, I will swear I love thee infinitely. But hark you, Kate. I must not have you henceforth question me whether I go, nor reason whereabout. Whether I must, and to conclude, this evening must I leave you, gentle Kate. I know you wise, but yet no further wise than Harry Percy's wife. Constant you are, but yet a woman. And for secrecy, no lady closer. For I well believe thou wilt not utter what thou dost not know, and so far will I trust thee, gentle Kate.
How so far?
Not an inch further. But hark you, Kate. Whither I go, thither shall you go too. Today will I set forth. Tomorrow, you.
They could call them all by their Christian names. There's Tom, Dick, and Francis.
No, sir!
They take it already upon their salvation that though I be but Prince of Wales, yet am I the King of courtesy. And tell me frankly, I'm no proud jack like Falstaff, but a Corinthian, a lad of metal, a good boy by the Lord, so they call me. And when I'm King of England, I shall command all the good lads in East The sweet Ned. To sweeten which name of Ned, I give thee this pennyworth of sugar, clapped even now into my hands by an underskin. One that never spake other English in his life. 9 shillings and 6pence. And you're welcome with this shrill addition. And none, sir. I prithee there. To drive away the time till Falstaff come, do thou stand in some by-room while I question my puny drawer to what end he gave me the sugar. And do thou never leave calling Francis, that his tale to me may be nothing but anon. Step aside, I'll show thee a precedent. Francis! That's perfect. Francis!
Look down into the pomegranate, Ralph!
Come hither, Francis. How long hast thou to serve, Francis?
Listen, 5 years, and as much as to work.
5 years, by Our Lady, a long leash for the clinking of pewter. But Francis, darest thou be so valiant as to play the coward with thy indenture, and show it a fair pair of heels and run from it?
Oh, Lord, sir, I'll be sworn upon all the books in England I can find in my own son.
Hold on now, Francis.
Well, let me see. About Michaelmas next I shall... Hang on, sir. I pray you stay a little, my lord.
Hark you, Francis. For the sugar thou gavest me, 'twas a pennyworth, was not?
Lord, sir, would it have been two?
I will give thee for it £1,000. Ask me when thou wilt, and I shall have it.
Francis!
No, Francis, no! Sorry, Francis, I'll fancy the first. I'll leave Francis when thou wilt. Francis! Wilt thou go? Away, you rogue! Just stand on here and call!
What sense of standing here, such a calling? Look to the gates for there. Lord, Sir John will have a dozen more at the door, so let them in.
Let him alone a while and then open the door. Boy! On and on, sir! Sir! Falstaff and the rest of the thieves are at the door. Shall we be merry?
As many as cricket's been at.
Larky, what cunning match have you made with this jest of the draw? Come, what's the issue?
I am now of all humours that have shown themselves humours from the old days of Goodman Adam to the pupil age of this present 12 o'clock midnight. What's the clock, Francis? That ever this fellow should have fewer words than a parrot and yet the son of a woman. His industry is upstairs and downstairs, his eloquence the parcel of a reckoning. And not yet of Percy is mine, the Hotspur of the North. He that kills me some 6 or 7 dozen Scots at a breakfast, washes his hands and says to his wife, "A fire upon this quiet life, I work."
Oh, my sweet Harry, says she, how many hast thou killed today?
Give their own horse a dread, says he, and answers, "Some 14 an hour." A trifle, a trifle. I bid thee call in Falstaff. I'll play Percy, and a damn broad shall play Dave Mortimer his wife. Rival, cries the drunkard. Call in Rib. Call in Tallow.
Welcome, Jack. Where's thou been? A plague of all cowards and of vengeance too. Marry and amen. Give me a cup of sack, Ere I lead this life long, I'll show never stop. And mend 'em and foot 'em too. A plague of all cowards. Give me a cup of sack. Is there no virtue extant?
Didst thou never see Titan kiss a dish of butter? Pitiful-hearted Titan that melted at the sweet tale of the suns. If thou didst then behold that comrade.
There's lime in this sack. There's not much robbery to be found in villainous men, and a villain, a coward, is worse than a cup of sack with lime in it. A villainous coward. Ah, well, go thy ways, old Jack. If manhood, good manhood, be not clean forgot upon the face of the earth, then am I a shot herring. There lives but 3 good men hanged in England, and one of them is fat and grows old, Lord help the while. A bad world, I say. What would I were a weaver? I would sing psalms or anything. A plague of all cowards, still say I.
How now, Woolsack? What mutter you?
King's son, if I do not beat thee out of thy kingdom with a dagger of lath, and all thy subjects afore thee like a flock of wild geese, I might never grow hair on my face again. Thou, Prince of Wales.
Why, you horse and round man, what's the matter?
Are you not a coward? Answer me to that, and points there.
Don't you fat paunch, you call me coward, by the Lord, I'll stab thee.
I call thee coward, I'll see thee hang there, I call thee coward. But I would give £1,000 I could run as fast as thou canst. Fetch me a cup of sack there. I am a rogue if I have drunk today.
Oh, villain, thy lips are scarce white since the drank's last.
All's one to that. A plain war cowards, I say still.
What's the matter?
What's the matter? There be here four of us have taken £1,000 this day morning.
Where is it, Jack? Where is it?
Where is it taken from us? It is 100 upon poor four of us.
What? 100 men?
I am a rogue if I fought not with half sword with a dozen of them for 2 hours together. I am escaped by a miracle. I am 8 times thrust through the doublet, 4 through the hole, me buckler cut through and through, and me sword hacked like a handsaw. Ecce signum.
Speak, sirs. How was it?
Well, we four set upon some dozen.
16 at least, my lord.
And bound them?
No, they were not bound.
You lie, you rogue. They were bound, every man of them. Or I'm a Jew else, an Hebrew Jew.
And as we were sharing, some 6 or 7 Frenchmen set upon us.
I set free them, and then in came the others.
What? Fought you with them all?
All? I know not what you call all, but if I fought not with 50 of them, I am a bunch of radish, aye. If there were not 2 or 3 and 50 upon poor old Jack, then I am no two-legged creature.
Pray God you've not murdered some of them.
Oh, that's past praying for. I've peppered 2 of them. 2, I am sure I've paid. 2 rogues in buckram suits. I tell thee what, hell, if I tell thee a lie. Spit in my face and call me horse. Thou knowest my old ward. Thus I lay, and thus I bore me point. 4 rogues in buckram let drive at me.
4? Thou saidst for 2 even, no?
4, hell, I told thee 4.
I said 4.
These 4 came all afront and mainly thrust at me. I made no more ado but took all the 7 points upon me target thus.
7? Why, there were but 4 even now.
In buckram?
Aye, 4 in buckram suit.
7 by these hilts, or I am villain else.
Let him alone, we shall have more anon.
Just to hear me, hell?
Yea, and mark thee too.
Do so, but it is worth the listening to. These 9 in buckram that I told thee of.
So 2 more already.
Their points being broken.
Down fell their hose.
To give me ground. I followed me close, came in, foot and hand, and in a thought, 7 of the 11 I paid.
Monstrous. 11 buckram men run out of 2.
And then, as the devil would have it, 3 misbegotten knaves in Kendal Green came at me back and let drive at me. Well, thou knowest, hell, it was so dark, thou couldst not see thy hand.
These lies are like their father that begets them, gross as a mountain, open, palpable.
What? Art thou mad? Art thou mad? Is not the truth the truth?
Why, how couldst thou know these men in Kendal Green when it was so dark thou couldst not see thy hand? Come, tell us your reason. What sayest thou to this?
Come, your reason, Jack. Your reason.
Upon compulsion, nay, and I were at the Strappado or all the wrecks in the world, I would not tell you upon compulsion.
I'll be no longer guilty of this sin. This sanguine coward, this bed presser, this horseback breaker, this huge hill of flesh.
Oh, you starveling, you eelskin, you dried neat's tongue, you bull's pizzle, you scoff thief. Oh, were breath to utter what is like to thee. You tailor's yard, you sheath, you bowkite, you vile, stand splendid. Tuck.
Well, breathe a while and do it again. And when thou hast tired thyself in base comparisons, hear me speak but this.
Mark, Jack.
We two saw you four set on four and bound them and were masters of their wealth. Mark now, our plain tales shall put you down. Then did we two set on you four, and with a word outfaced you from your prize and had it, yes. And can show it you here in the house. And you, Falstaff, you carried your guts away as nimbly with as quick dexterity and roared for mercy, and still run and roar as ever I heard bull. What a slave art thou to hack thy sword as thou hast done, and then say it was in fight. What trick? What device? What starting hole canst thou find out now to hide thee from this open and apparent shame?
Come, let's hear, Jack. What trick hast thou now?
By the Lord, I knew thee as well as he that made thee. My master, was it for me to kill the heir apparent? Should I turn upon the true prince? Thou knowest I am as valiant as Hercules, but beware instinct. The lion will not touch the true prince. Instinct is a great matter. I was, therefore, a coward for instinct. But by the Lord, I shall think the better of myself and thee during my life. I for a valiant lion, and thou for a true prince. But by the Lord, lads, I'm glad you have the money. Hostess, what's tonight? Shall we have a jest? Shall we have a play extempore?
Content, and the argument shall be thy running away.
No more of that, Helen. Thou lovest me.
Oh, Jesus! Oh, please.
How now, my lady the hostess, what says thou to me?
Marry, my lord, there's a nobleman from the court at door would speak with you. He says he comes from your father.
Give him as much as will make him a royal man, and send him back again to my mother.
What manner of man is he?
An old man.
Oh, what doth gravity out of his bed at midnight? Shall I give him his answer?
Really do, Jack.
Faith, I'll send him packing.
No, sir! By Our Lady, you fought fair. So did you, Peter. So did you, Bardolph. You were lions, too. You ran away upon instinct. You would not touch the true prince. No, fie.
Faith, I run when I see others run.
But tell me now, in earnest, how came Falstaff's sword so hacked?
Well, he hacked it with his dagger and said he would swear truth out of England, but he would make you believe it was done in fight. And then persuaded us to do the like.
To tickle our nose with spear grass to make 'em bleed, and then to beslubber all our garments with it and swear it was the blood of true men. I done what I not done a 7 year before. I blushed to hear his monstrous devices.
The villain! Thou stolest a cup of sack 18 years ago and were taken with the matter, and ever since thou blushed extempore. Thou hadst fire and sword on thy side, and yet thou ranst away. What instinct hadst thou for that?
My lord, did you behold these meteors? Do you behold these exhalations?
I do.
Huh? Well, what think you they portend?
Hot livers and cold purses.
Choler, my lord, if rightly taken.
No, if rightly taken. Halter! Here comes Lean Jack! Here comes Barebones! Oh, now, my sweet creature of Bothnast. How long is it to go, Jack, since thou sawest thine own knee?
Oh, my own knee? Oh. When I was about thy years, hell, I was but an eagle's talon in the waist. I could have crept through any alderman's thumb ring. Plague, sighing, and grief, it blows a man up like a bladder. villainous news abroad. Here's Sir John Bracey from your father. You must to the court tomorrow. This same mad devil of the north, Percy, and he of Wales, that gave a Maimon the bastinado and made Lucifer cuckold and swore the devil his true liegeman upon the cross of a Welsh hook. What the plague call you him?
Oh, Glendower.
Owen, the same. And his son-in-law, Mortimer, and old Northumberland, and that sprightly Scot of Scots, Douglas, that rides a horseback up a hill perpendicular.
He that rides at high speed and with his pistol kills the sparrow flying.
Ah, thou hast hit it.
So did he never the sparrow?
Well, he is there too, and one more Echo, 1,000 blue caps more. Worcester has flown tonight. Thy father's beard has turned white with the news. You may buy land now as cheap as stinking mackerel.
Why, then it's like if there come a hot June in this civil buffeting hold, we shall buy maidenheads as they buy hobnails by the hundred.
By the matter, I think thou saidst truly, we are like to have good trading that way. Tell me, Hal, art not thou horribly afeard? Thou, being heir apparent, could the world find thee out 3 such enemies again as that fiend Douglas, that spirit Percy, and that devil Glendower? Art thou not horribly afraid? Doth not thy blood thrill at it?
Not a whit, i' faith. I lack some of thy instincts.
Well, thou wilt be horribly cheat tomorrow when thou goest to thy father. If thou lovest me, practice an answer.
Do thou stand for my father and examine me upon the particulars of my life.
Shall I? Content.
Give him some help.
This chair shall be my state, this dagger my sceptre, and this cushion my crown.
Thy state is taken for a join stool, thy golden sceptre for a leaden dagger, and thy precious rich crown for a pitiful bald crown.
If the spark of grace be not quite out of thee, now shalt thou be moving. Give me a cup of sack to make me eyes red. That I may be thought to have wept, for I would speak in a passion. And I will do it in King Cambyses' vein.
Here is my leg.
And here is my speech. Weep not for your queen, or trickling tears of pain.
Father, how he owes
For God's sake, lords, convey my but tears do stop the floodgates of her eyes.
He does it as like one of them arbitrary players as ever I see.
Peace, good pint. Peace, good tickle brain. Harry, I do not only marvel where thou spendest thy time, but also how thou art accompanied. For as the chamomile, the more it is trodden on, the faster it grows, so youth, the more it is wasted, the sooner it wears. That thou art my son, I have partly thy mother's word, partly mine own opinion. Chiefly for a villainous trick of thine eye, and a foolish hanging of thy nether lip, that doth warrant me. If then thou be a son to me, here lies the point. Why, being son to me, art thou so pointed at? Shall the blessed Son of Heaven prove a mitch or an eat black for his take question? Not to be asked. Shall the Son of England prove a thief and take Percy's take question to be asked? There is a thing, Harry, that thou hast often heard of. and it is known to many in our land by the name of pitch. This pitch, so ancient writers do report, doth defile, and so does the company thou keepest. I do not speak to thee now in drink. But in teal, not in pleasure, but in passion, not in words only, but in woes also.
And yet, there is a virtuous man whom I have often noted in thy company. I know not his name.
What manner of man, and it like your majesty?
Oh, a goodly, portly man in face, and corpulent of a merry carriage, a pleasing eye, and a most noble deportment. And as I think he's aged some 50, or by a lady inclining to 60. No! I do remember me! His name is Falstaff! If that man should be lewdly given, then he deceiveth me, for Harry, I see virtue in his looks. If then it be true that the fruit is known by the tree, as the tree by the fruit, then perennially, I say it, there is virtue in this Falstaff. Him keep with, the rest, penny! Now tell me, thou naughty varlet, tell me where thou hast been this night.
Now speak of the king. Now stand for me, and I'll play my father.
Depose me? Well, if thou dost it half so gravely, half so majestically, and so much words and matter, then hang me up by the heels for a rabbit sucker and a poulterer's hair.
Well, here I'm set.
And here stand I. Judge me, masters.
Now, Harry, whence come you?
My noble lord from East Chief.
The complaints I hear of thee are grievous.
Blood, my lord, they are false. I'm tickling you for a young princess, eh?
Swearest thou, ungracious boy? Henceforth, now look on me. Thou art violently carried away from grace. There is a devil haunts thee in the likeness of an old fat man. A ton of man is thy companion. Why dost thou converse with that trunk of humours, that bolting hutch of beastliness, that swollen parcel of dropsies, that huge bombard of sack, that stuffed cloak bag of guts, that roasted Manning tree ox with the pudding in his belly, that reverend vice, that grey iniquity, that father ruffian, that vanity in ears. Wherein is he good? But to taste sack and drink it? Wherein neat and cleanly, but to carve a capon and eat it? Wherein cunning, but in craft? Wherein crafty, but in villainy? Wherein villainous, but in all things? Wherein worthy, but in nothing?
I would your grace would take me with you. Who means your grace?
That villainous, abominable misleader of youth, Falstaff, that old white-bearded Satan.
My lord, the man I know.
I know thou dost.
And to say that I know more harm in him than in myself, or to say more than I know, that he is old, the more the pity, his white hairs do witness it, but that he is saving your reverence. A whoremaster, that I utterly deny. If sack and sugar be false, God help the wicked. If to be old and merry be a sin, then many an old house that I know of is damned. If to be fat be to be hated, then Pharaoh's lean kine are to be loved. Now, my good Lord, banish Bardolph, banish Peto, banish Poins, but persuade Jack Falstaff, kind Jack Falstaff, true Jack Falstaff, valiant Jack Falstaff, and the more valiant being as he is, old Jack Falstaff, banish not him thy Harris company, banish not him thy Harris company, banish plump Jack, and banish all the world.
I do. I will.
Monstrous watches at the door!
Down, you know, down! Play out the play! I have much to say on behalf of this monster!
My lord!
Hey, the devil rides up on a fiddlestick. What's the matter?
The sheriff, with all the watch at the door. They come to search the house. Shall I let him in?
Go hide thee behind the arras. The rest walk up above. Point, Peter. Now, my masters, for a true face and a good conscience.
Both of which I have had, but the date's out, so Eileen hide me.
Call in the sheriff. Now, Master Sheriff, what's your will with me?
First, pardon me, my lord. A hue and cry hath followed certain men into this house.
What men?
One of them is well known, my gracious lord. A gross fat man.
As fat as butter. The man, I do assure you, is not here, for I myself at this time have employed him. And Sheriff! I will engage my word to thee, that I will by tomorrow dinner time send him to answer thee, or any man, or anything he may be charged withal. And so let me entreat you, leave the house.
I will, my lord. There are two gentlemen. Have in this robbery less 300 marks.
If that be so. If he have robbed these men, he shall be answerable. And so farewell.
Good night, my noble lord.
I think it is good morrow, is it not?
Indeed, my lord, I think it be 2 o'clock.
This oily rascal's known as well as Paul's. Go call him forth.
Falstaff!
Fast asleep behind the arras and snorting like an horse.
Hark how hard he fetches his breath. Search his pockets. What has thou found?
Nothing but papers, my lord.
Well, let's see what they be. Now, read it.
Item a capon, 2 shilling and 2pence. Item sauce, 4pence. Item sack, 2 gallons, 5 shilling and 8pence. Item anchovies and sack after supper, 2 shilling and 6pence. Item bread, One halfpenny.
Oh, monstrous. One ha'porth of bread to this intolerable deal of sack. What there is else, keep close. We'll read it at more advantage. There, let him sleep till day. I must to the court in the morning. We must alter the wars. Thy place shall be honourable. I'll procure this fat rogue a charge. Afoot. I know his death will be a march of 12 score. The money shall be paid back again with advantage. Be with me betimes in the morning. And so. Good morrow, Peter.
Good morrow, good my lord.
Promises are fair, the party sure, and our induction full of prosperous hope.
Lord Mortimer and Cousin Glendower, will you sit down?
And Uncle Worcester. A plague upon it, I have forgot the map.
No, here it is. Sit, Cousin Percy. Sit, good cousin Hotspur. For by that name, as oft as Lancaster doth speak of you, his cheek looks pale, and with a rising sigh he wisheth you in heaven.
And you in hell as oft as he hears Owen Glendower spoke of.
I cannot blame him. At my nativity, the front of heaven was full of fiery shapes, of burning cressets, and at my birth, the frame and huge foundation of the earth shaked like a coward.
Why, so it would have done at the same season had your mother's cat but kittened, though yourself had never been born.
I say the earth did shake when I was born.
And I say the earth was not of my mind, if you suppose as fearing you it shook.
The heavens were all on fire, the earth did tremble.
Oh, then the earth shook to see the heavens on fire, and not in fear of your nativity.
Cousin, of many men I do not bear these crossings. Give me leave to tell you once again that at my birth the front of heaven was full of fiery shapes. The goats ran from the mountains. The herds were strangely clamorous to the frighted fields. These signs have marked me extraordinary. and all the courses of my life to show I am not in the roll of common men. Where is he living, clipped in with the sea, that chides the banks of England, Scotland, Wales, that calls me pupil or hath read to me? And bring him out that his but mother's son can trace me in the tedious ways of art, and hold me pace in deep experiments.
I think as no man speaks better Welsh. Out to dinner.
Peace, Cousin Percy, will make him mad.
I can call spirits from the vasty deep.
Why, so can I, or so can any man. But will they come when you do call for them?
Why, I can teach you, cousin, to command the devil.
And I can teach thee, cuz, to shame the devil, by telling truth. Tell truth and shame the devil.
Come, come, no more of this unprofitable chat.
3 times hath Henry Bolingbroke made head against my power. Thrice from the banks of Wye and sandy-bottomed Severn have I sent him bootless home, and weather-beaten back.
Home without boots, and in foul weather too. How scapes the agues in the devil's name?
Come. Here is the map. Shall we divide our right according to our threefold order, 10?
The Archdeacon hath divided it into 3 limits very equally. England, from Trent and Severn hitherto, by south and east, is to my part assigned. All westward, Wales beyond the Severn shore, and all the fertile land within that bound, to Owen Glendower. And, dear coz, to you, the remnant northward lying off from Trent. Tomorrow, Cousin Percy, you and I and my good Lord of Worcester will set forth to meet your father and the Scottish power, as is appointed us at Shrewsbury. My father Glendower is not ready yet, nor shall we need his help these 14 days. Within that time you may have drawn together your tenants, friends, and neighbouring gentlemen.
A shorter time shall send me to you, lords, and in my conduct shall your ladies come, from whom you now must steal and take no leave, for there will be a world of water shed upon the parting of your wives and you.
Methinks my moiety north from Burton here, in quantity, equals not one of yours. See how this river comes me cranking in, and cuts me from the best of all my land? A huge half-moon, a monstrous cantle out. I'll have the current in this place dammed up, and here the smug and silver Trent shall run in a new channel, fair and evenly. It shall not wind with such a deep indent to rob me of so rich a bottom here.
Not wind. It shall. It must. You see it doth.
Yea, but mark how he bears his course, and runs me up with like advantage on the other side, gelding the opposite continent as much as on the other side it takes from you.
Yea, but a little charge will trench him here, and on this north side win this cape of land, then he runs straight and even.
I will have it, so a little charge will do it.
I'll not have it altered.
Will not you?
No, you shall not.
Who shall say me nay?
Why, that will I.
Let me not understand you then. Speak it in Welsh.
I can speak English, lord, as well as you, for I was trained up in the English court, where being but young I frame it with the harp, many an English ditty lovely well, and give the tongue a helpful ornament, a virtue that was never seen in you.
Marry, and I am glad of it with all my heart. I had rather be a kitten and cry mew than one of these same meter ballad mongers. I had rather hear a brazen candstick turned, or a dry wheel grate on the axle tree, and that would set my teeth nothing on edge, nothing so much as mincing poetry. 'Tis like the forced gait of a shuffling nag.
Come. You shall have Trent turned.
I do not care. I'll give thrice so much land to any well-deserving friend, but in the way of bargain, mark you me, I'll cavil on the 9th part of a hair. Are the indentures drawn? Shall we be gone?
The moon shines fair, you may away by night. I'll haste the writer, and withal break with your wives of your departure hence. I am afraid my daughter will run mad, so much she doteth on her Mortimer.
Fie, Cousin Percy, how you cross my father.
I cannot choose. Sometime he angers me with telling me of the mould warp and the ant, and of the dreamer Merlin and his prophecies, and of a dragon and a finless fish, a clip-winged griffin and a molten raven, a couching lion and a ramping cat, and such a deal of skimble-scamble stuff as pushed me from my faith. I tell you what, he held me last night at least 9 hours in reckoning up the several devils' names that were his lackeys. I cried, and we'll go too, but marked him not a word. Oh, he is as tedious as a tired horse, a railing wife, worse than a smoky house. I had rather live with cheese and garlic in a windmill far than feed on cakes and have him talk to me in any summer house in Christendom.
In faith, he is a worthy gentleman, exceedingly well read and profited in strange concealments. Shall I tell you, cousin, he holds your temper in a high respect, and curbs him even of his natural scope when you come cross his humour. Faith, he does. I warrant you, that man is not alive might so have tempted him as you have done, without the taste of danger or reproof. But do not use it oft, let me entreat you.
Indeed, my lord, you are too wilful blame. And since your coming hither have done enough to put him quite besides his patience, you must needs learn, lord, to amend this fault.
Well, I am schooled. Good manners be your speed. Here come our wives. Let us take our leave.
This is the deadly spite that angers me. My wife can speak no English, I know Welsh.
My daughter weeps. She'll not part with you. She'll be a soldier too. She'll to the walls.
Good father, tell her that she and my Aunt Percy shall follow in your conduct speedily.
Be thou di merch. Rhaid y filwr y tef I alwad. Cei ddilyn yn fy nghofal ag iad fodryb Percy, ac fe weli di bortib ar annwyl yn ddyn eto.
Pwy wir na welaf mon o bydd. O, fy'n had, gadewch i mi fynd gydag ef. Nid oes arnaf o fna'n wir.
Na, nid lle yw ragydd yw ryfeloedd. Fydda gennych i, rhaid I ti ros a chanlyn gyda mi.
Nis gallaf aros hebddo, mae'n rhaid I mi gael mynd. A chaiff neb fy ngwahad chwaith.
She is desperate here. A peevish, self-willed harlotry that no persuasion can do good upon.
O, fy nghelon. Paid am gadael. Un adym ni an dau, os mynd sy'n rhaid of gyda thir yw lan I byd.
I understand thy kisses and thou mine, and that's a feeling disputation.
Nay, if you melt, then will she run mad.
Gorffwys fan wylit, amar ar y bryn, a dod y ben yn esmydd an fy nghol. Mi gan a ffiti'r gan a geraist gynt sy'n hyd o cwsg a hiraeth an ei hol. Cei anna ddeffrwn llawn o nedd, e herio thelen gyda thraich a thraw. Cwsg, cwsg fy nghelon anwyli. Hyd nes y cyfyd hael y dwy'r ein draw.
Oh, I am ignorance itself in this.
She bids you on the wanton rushes lay you down, and rest your gentle head upon her lap, and she will sing the song that pleaseth you, and on your eyelids crown the god of sleep.
With all my heart I'll sit and hear her sing. By that time will our book, I think, be drawn.
Do so. And those musicians that shall play to you, hang in the air 1,000 leagues from hence, and straight they shall be here. Sit and attend.
Come, Kate, thou art perfect in lying down. Come quick, quick, that I may lay my head in thy lap.
Go, you giddy goose.
Tarwch, dant, aradeli.
See, the devil understands Welsh. 'Tis no marvel he is so humorous. But, lady, he is a good musician.
Then should you be nothing but musical, for you altogether governed by humours. Lie still, ye thief, and hear the lady sing in Welsh.
I'd rather hear Lady My Bitch howl in Irish.
Wouldst thou have thy head broken?
No.
Now God help thee.
To the Welsh lady's bed.
What's that?
Peace. She sings.
In no world can bredy win very or win deep are no
Come, Kate, we'll have your song too.
Not mine. In good sooth.
Not yours in good sooth. Lord, you swear like a comfit maker's wife. Not you in good sooth. Swear me, Kate, like a lady as thou art, a good mouth-filling oath, and leave in sooth and such protest of pepper gingerbread to velvet guards and Sunday citizens. Come, sing.
I will not sing.
It's the next way to be tailor or be red-breast teacher. And the indentures drawn, I'll away within these 2 hours. So come in when you will.
Come, Lord Mortimer. You are as slow as hot Lord Percy is on fire to go. By this our book is drawn. We'll but seal, and then to horse, immediately.
With all my heart.
Lords, give us leave. The Prince of Wales and I must have some private conference. But be near at hand, for we shall presently have need of you. I know not whether God will have it so for some displeasing service I have done, that in his secret doom out of my blood he'll breed a revengement and a scourge for me. But thou dost in thy passages of light make me believe that thou art only marked for the hot vengeance and the rod of heaven to punish my mistreatings. Tell me else, could such inordinate and low desires, such poor, such bare, such lewd, such mean attempts, such barren pleasures, rude society as thou art matched withal and grafted to, accompany the greatness of thy blood, and hold their levels with thy princely heart?
So please your majesty, I would I could quit all offences with as clear excuse. As well as I am doubtless I can purge myself of many I am charged with all.
Yet let me wonder, Harry, at thy affections, which do hold a wing quite from the flight of all thy ancestors. Thy place in council thou hast rudely lost, which by thy younger brother is supplied. And art almost an alien to the hearts of all the court and princes of my blood. The hope and expectation of thy time is ruined, and the soul of every man prophetically do forethink thy fall. And I, so lavish of my presence been, so common hackneyed in the eyes of men, so stale and cheap to vulgar company, opinion that did help me to the crown had still kept loyal to possession, and left me in reputeless banishment, a fellow of no mark nor likelihood. By being seldom seen, I could not stir, but like a comet I was wondered at. That men would tell their children, this is he. Others would say, where, which is Bolingbroke? And then I stole all courtesy from heaven, and dressed myself in such humility, that I did pluck allegiance from men's hearts, loud shouts and salutations from their mouths, even in the presence of the crowned king. Thus did I keep my person fresh and new. The skipping king, he ambled up and down with shallow jesters, with rash baving wits, soon kindled and soon burnt, carded his state, mingled his royalty with capering fools, had his great name profaned with our scorn. So when he had occasion to be seen, he was but as the cuckoo is in June, heard, not regarded. See, but with such eyes as sick and blunted with community afford no extraordinary gaze. And in that very line, Harry, standest thou. For thou hast lost thy princely privilege with vile participation. Not an eye but is aweary of thy common sight. Save mine, which hath desired to see thee more. Which now doth, that I would not have it do. Now it makes blind itself with foolish tenderness.
I shall, hereafter, my thrice gracious lord, be more myself.
For all the world, as thou art to this hour, was Richard then, when I from France set foot at Ravensborough, and even as I was then, is Percy now. Now, by my soul, and to put my sceptre, he had more worthy interest to the state than thou, the shadow of succession, for of no right, nor colour like to right. He doth fill fields with harness in the realm, turns head against the lion's army jaws, and being no more in debt to years than thou, leads ancient lords and reverend bishops on to bloody battles and to bruising arms. But wherefore do I tell these news to thee? Why, Harry, do I tell thee of my foes, who art my nearest and dearest enemy? Thou that art like enough, through vassal fear, base inclination, and the start of spleen, to fight against me under Percy's pay, to dog at his heels, and curtsy at his frowns, to show how much thou art degenerate.
Do not think so, you shall not find it so. And God forgive them that so much have swayed your majesty's good thoughts away from me. I will redeem all this on Percy's head, and in the closing of some glorious day be bold to tell you that I am your son. And that shall be the day, whene'er it lights, that this same child of honour and renown, this gallant Hotspur, this all-praised knight, and your unthought of Harry chance to meet. For every honour sitting on his helm there were multitudes, and on my head my shames redoubled. For the time will come when I will make this northern youth exchange his glorious deeds for my indignities. Percy is but my factor, good my lord, to engross up glorious deeds in my behalf. And I will call him to so strict account that he shall render every glory up, yea, even the slightest worship of his time. Or I will tear the reckoning from his heart. This in the name of God. I promise here, the which if he be pleased I shall perform. If not, the end of life cancels all bands, and I will die 100,000 deaths ere break the smallest parcel of this vow.
100,000 rebels die in this. Thou shalt have charge and sovereign trust herein. How now, good blunt, thy looks are full of speed.
So hath the business that I come to speak of. Lord Mortimer of Scotland hath sent word that Douglas and the English rebels met the 11th of this month at Shrewsbury. A mighty and a fearful head they are, if promises be kept on every hand, as ever offered foul play in a state.
The Earl of Westmoreland set forth yesterday, with him my son, Lord John of Lancaster. On Wednesday next, Harry, you shall set forward. On Thursday we ourselves will march. Our meeting is Bridgenorth. Our hands are full of business, let's away. Advantage feeds him fat, while men delay. Vilely fallen away since this last action? Do I not bate? Do I not dwindle? Why, my skin hangs about me like an old lady's loose gown. I'm withered like an old apple, John. But I will repent, and that suddenly, while I'm in some liking. I shall be out of heart soon, and then I shall have no strength to repent.
if I have not forgotten what the inside of a church is made of. The inside of a church. Company! Villainous company has been a spoil of me.
Sir John, you are so fretful you cannot live long.
Well, there, so is it. Well, come, sing me a bawdy song. Make me merry. I was used to live as virtuous as a gentleman need be. Virtuous enough. Swore little. Diced not above 7 times a week. Went to a bawdy house not above once in a quarter of an hour. Paid money that I borrowed 3 or 4 times. Lived well and in good compass. And now I live out of all reason, out of all compass.
Why, Sir John, you are so fat, you must needs be out of all compass. Out of all reasonable compass, Sir John.
Do thou amend thy face, and I'll amend my life. Oh, thou art our admiral. Thou bearest the lantern in the poop, but 'tis in the nose of thee. Thou art our knight of the burning lamp.
Well, Sir John, my face does you no harm.
Oh, I'll be sworn I make as good use of it as many a man doth of a death's head on memento mori. I never see thy face, but I think upon hellfire. And Dives that lived in purple, there he is, in his robes, burning, burning. When thou ranst up Gad's Hill in the night to catch me horse, if I did not think thou wert an ignis fatuus or a ball of wildfire, there's no purchase in money. Oh, thou art an everlasting triumph, a perpetual bonfire. Thou hast saved me thousands of marks in links and torches, walking with thee in the night betwixt tavern and tavern. Aye, but the sack thou hast drunk me would have bought me lights as good cheap at the dearest chandlers in Europe. God reward me for it.
Blood, or would my face were in your belly?
For God, then should I be sure to be heartburned. No, Dame Partlet the hen. Hast thou inquired yet who picked me pocket?
No. I know you, Sir John. You owe me money, Sir John. And now you pick a quarrel to beguile me of it. I bought you a dozen of shirts to your back.
Dowlas, filthy Dowlas. I've given them away to bakers' wives. They've made strainers of them.
Now, as I am a true woman, Holland, 8 shillings an ale. And you owe money here besides, Sir John, for your diets and your by-drinkings. And money borrowed, £24.
Well, he has had part of it. Let him pay.
He? Why, he's poor. He has nothing.
How, poor? Oh, look there upon his face. What call you rich? Let them coin his nose. Let them coin his cheek. Eh? I'll not pay a denier. How now, since the wind in that door? There must we all mark your face.
Aye, 2 and 2, Newgate.
How? To the news at court, lad, about the robbery hell. Is that answered?
Oh, my sweet beef, I must still be good angel to thee. The money is paid back again. I'm good friends with my father, and may do anything.
Rob me the exchequer, the first thing thou dost.
I've procured thee, Jack, a charge. A foot.
Would it have been of whores?
Go bear this letter to Lord John of Lancaster. To my brother John. This to my Lord of Westmoreland. Point this to horse, for thou and I have 30 miles to ride yet at supper time. Jack, meet me tomorrow at the Temple Hall at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. There shalt thou know thy charge, and there receive money and order for their furniture. The land is burning. Percy stands on high, and either we or they must lower lie.
Rare words, brave word, hostess! may breakfast come. Oh, I could wish this tavern were my drum.
If speaking truth in this fine age were not thought flattery, such attribution should the Douglas have, as not a soldier of this season's stamp should go so general current through the world.
Thou art the king of honour. No man so potent breathes upon the ground. But I will beard him.
Do so and as well.
My lord, these letters come from your father.
Letter from him? Why comes he not himself?
It cannot come, my lord. His grief is sick.
Zounds, how is he the leisure to be sick in such a jostling time? Who needs his power? Under whose government come they along?
His letters bear his mind, not I, my lord.
And prithee tell me, doth he keep his bed?
He did, my lord, 4 days ere I set forth. And at the time of my departure thence he was much feared by his physicians.
I would the state of time had first been whole ere he by sickness had been visited. His health was never better worth than now.
Sick now. Droop now. The sickness doth infect the very lifeblood of our enterprise. 'Tis catching hither even to our camp. He writes me here that inward sickness, and that his friends by deputation could not so soon be drawn.
Your father's sickness is a maim to us.
A perilous gash, a very limb lump. And yet in faith it is not. His present want seems more than we shall find it. Were it good to set the exact wealth of all our states all at one cast? To set so rich a man on the nice hazard of one doubtful hour? It were not good. For therein should we read the very bottom, and the soul of hope. The very list, the very utmost bound of all our fortunes.
Faith, and so should. A comfortable retirement lives in this.
A rendezvous, a home to fly unto, if that the devil and mischance look big upon the maidenhead of our affairs.
But yet I would your father had been here. The quality and hair of our attempt books no division. It will be thought by some that know not why he is away that wisdom, loyalty, and mere dislike of our proceedings kept the oath from hence.
Ah, you strain too far. I rather of his absence make this use. It lends a lustre, a more great opinion, a larger dare to our great enterprise than if the Earl were here. For men must think, if we without his help can make a head to push against the kingdom, with his help we shall o'erturn it topsy-turvy down. Yet all goes well, yet all our joints are whole.
Ah, as heart can think. There is not such a word spoke of in Scotland as this term of fear.
Cousin Vernon, welcome by my soul.
Pray God my news be worth a welcome, lord. The Earl of Westmoreland, 7,000 strong, is marching hitherwards. With him, Prince John.
No harm, what more?
Further, I have learned the king himself in person is set forth.
He should be welcome, too. Where is his son, the nimble-footed madcap Prince of Wales, and his comrades that daft the world aside and bid it pass?
All furnished, all in arms, all plumed like estridges that wing the wind, baited like eagles having lately bathed, glittering in golden coats like imagers, as full of spirit as the month of May, and gorgeous as the sun at midsummer, wanton as youthful goats, wild as young bulls. I saw young Harry. With his beaver on, his cuisses on his thighs, gallantly armed, rise from the ground like feathered Mercury, and vaulted with such ease into his seat as if an angel dropped from the clouds to turn and wind a fiery Pegasus and witch the world with noble horsemanship.
No more, no more. Worse than the sun in March, this praise doth nourish use. Let them come. They come like sacrifices in their trim, and to the fiery eye made of smoky war, all hot and bleeding will we offer them. Oh, that Glendower would come.
There is more news. I learned in Worcester as I rode along, he cannot draw his power these 14 days.
That is the worst tidings that I heard of yet.
Aye, by my faith, it bears a frosty sound.
What may the king's whole battle reach unto?
To 30,000.
40 let it be! My father and Glendower being both away, the powers of us may serve so great a day. Come, let us take a muster speedily. Doomsday is near. Die all, die merrily.
No, talk not of dying. I am out of fear of death or death's hand for this 1/2 year. Bardolph, fill me a bottle of sack. And then get thee before to Coventry. Our soldiers shall march through. We must to Sutton Coalfield tonight. Bid my Lieutenant Peto meet me at Town's End.
Will you give me some money, Captain?
Shog off. If I be not ashamed of my soldiers, I'm a sow's gurnet. I've misused the king's press damnably. I have taken in exchange of 150 soldiers 300 and odd pounds. I've pressed me none, but good householders, yeomen's sons. Inquired me out contracted bachelors, such as have been called twice in the bands, and such a commodity of warm slaves that it is lief hear the devil as a drum, and fear the report of a caliber worse than a struck fowl or a hurt wild duck. I have pressed me none but such toasts and butters with hearts in their bellies, no bigger than beans' heads. And these have bought out their services. And now my sole charge consists of ancients, corporals, lieutenants, gentlemen of companies, and slaves, as ragged as Lazarus in the painted cloth, where the glutton's dog licked his sores, the cankers of a calm world, and a long peace. And such have I to fill in the rooms of them that have bought out their services, that you would think I had 150 tattered prodigals, lately come from swine keeping, from eating draff and husks. A mad fellow met me on the way and told me I'd unloaded all the gibbets and pressed the dead bodies. No eye hath seen such scarecrows. I'll not march through Coventry with them, that's flat. Hey, and the rogues march wide betwixt the legs, as if they had gyves on. And indeed I had the most of them out of prison. There's but a shirt and a half in all me company, and the half is but 2 napkins tacked together and thrown over the shoulders like a herald's coat without sleeves, and the shirt, to say truth, stolen from min host at St. Albans, or the red-nosed innkeeper at Daventry, or all's one for that. They'll find linen enough on every hedge.
We'll fight with him tonight.
It may not be.
You give him that advantage.
Not a whit. Why say you so? Looks he not for supply?
So do we.
His is certain, ours is doubtful.
Good cousin, be advised. Stir not tonight.
Do not, my lord.
You do not counsel well. You speak it out of fear and cold heart.
Do me no slander, Douglas. By my life, if well-respected honour bid me on, I hold as little counsel with weak fear as you, my lord, or any Scot that this day lives. Let it be seen tomorrow in the battle which of us fears.
Aye.
Content.
Or tonight.
Tonight, say I.
Come, it may not be.
I wonder much, you being men of such great leading as you are, that you foresee not what impediments drag back our expedition. Certain horse of my cousin Vernon's are not yet come up. Your uncle Worcester's horse came but today. Now their pride and mettle is asleep, their courage with hard labour tame and dull.
That not a horse is half the half of himself.
So are the horses of the enemy in general journey baited and brought low.
Yeah.
The better part of ours are full of rest.
The number of the king exceedeth ours. For God's sake, cousin, stay till all come in.
I come with precious offers from the king, if you vouchsafe me hearing and respect.
Welcome, Sir Walter Blunt. Would to God you were of our determination. Some of us love you well, and even though some envy your great deservings and good name. Because you are not of our quality, but stand against us like an enemy.
And God defend, but still I should stand so. So long as out of limit and true rule you stand against anointed majesty. But to my charge. The king hath sent to know the nature of your griefs, and whereupon you conjure from the breast of civil peace such bold hostility, teaching his duteous land audacious cruelty. If that the king have any way your good deserts forgot, which he confesseth to be manifold, he bids you name your griefs, and with all speed you shall have your desires with interest, and pardon absolute for yourself, and these herein misled by your suggestion.
The king is kind, and well we know the king knows what time to promise, when to pay. My father and my uncle and myself did give him that same royalty he wears, and when he was not 26 strong, sick in the world's regard, wretched and low, a poor unminded outlaw sneaking home, my father gave him welcome to the shore. And when he heard him swear and vow to God, he came but to be Duke of Lancaster, to sue his livery and beg his peace with tears of innocency and terms of zeal. My father, in kind heart and pity moved, swore him assistance, and performed it too. Now when the lords and barons of the realm perceived Northumberland did lean to him, the more and less came in with cap and knee. He presently, as greatness knows itself, steps me a little higher than his vow, and now forsooth takes it on him to reform some certain edicts and some straight decrees that lie too heavy on the commonwealth. Proceeded further, cut me off the heads of all the favourites that the absent king in deputation left behind him here when he was personal in the Irish war.
Tut, I came not to hear this.
That's the point! In short time after, he deposed the king. Soon after that deprived him of his life. To make that worse, suffered his kinsman March, who as if every owner were well placed indeed his king, to be engaged in Wales, there without ransom to lie forfeited. Disgraced me in my happy victories, rated mine uncle from the council board, enraged dismissed my father from the court, broke oath on oath, committed wrong on wrong, and in conclusion drove us to seek out this head in safety, and withal to pry into his title, the which we find too indirect for long continuance.
Shall I return this answer to the king?
Not so, Sir Walter. We'll withdraw a while. Go to the king, and let there be in pawn some surety for a safe return again. And in the morning early shall mine uncle bring him our purposes. And so, farewell.
I would you would accept of grace and love.
And maybe so we shall.
Pray God you do.
Aye, good Sir Michael, bear this sealed brief with winged haste to the Lord Marshal. This to my cousin Scroop, and all the rest to whom they are directed. If you knew how much they do import, you would make haste.
My Lord of York, I guess their tip.
Like enough you do. Tomorrow, good Sir Michael, is a day wherein the fortune of 10,000 men must bide the touch. For, sir, at Shrewsbury, as I am truly given to understand, the king, with mighty and much raised power, meets with Lord Harry. I fear, Sir Michael, what with the sickness of Northumberland, whose power was in the first proportion, and what with Owen Glendower's absence thence, I fear the power of Percy is too weak to wage an instant trial with the king.
Why, my good lord, you need not fear. There is Douglas and Lord Mortimer.
No, Mortimer is not there.
But there is Mordick, Vernon, Lord Harry Percy, and there is my Lord of Worcester, and a head of noble warriors, gallant gentlemen.
And so there is. But yet the king hath drawn the special head of all the land together. The Prince of Wales, Lord John of Lancaster, the noble Westmoreland and warlike Blunt, and many more rivals and dear men of estimation and command in arms.
Doubt not, my lord. I shall be well opposed.
I hope no less. Yet needful 'tis to fear, and to prevent the worst, Sir Michael, speed.
For if Lord Percy thrive not ere the king dismiss his power, he means to visit us. For he hath heard of our confederacy, and 'tis but wisdom to make strong against him. Therefore make haste. I must go right again to other friends, and so farewell, Sir Michael.
The sun begins to peer above yon musky hill. The day looks pale at his distemperature.
The southern wind doth play the trumpet to his purposes, and by his hollow whistling in the leaves foretells a tempest and a blustering day.
Then with the losers let it sympathize, for nothing can seem foul to those that win. How now, my Lord of Worcester? 'Tis not well that you and I should meet upon such terms as now we meet. You have deceived our trust, and made us doff the easy robes of peace to crush our old limbs in ungentle steel. This is not well, my lord, this is not well. What say you to it? Will you again unknit this churlish knot of all abhorred war, and move in that obedient orb again where you did give a fair and natural light?
Hear me, my liege. For mine own part, I could be well content to entertain the lag end of my life with quiet hours. For I do protest, I have not sought the day of this dislike.
You have not sought it. How comes it then?
Rebellion lay in his way and he found it.
Peace, chew it! Peace. It pleased your majesty to turn your looks of favour from myself and all our house. And yet I must remember you, my lord. We were the first and dearest of your friends. For you, my staff of office did I break in Richard's time, and posted day and night to meet you on the way and kiss your hand, when yet you were in place and in account nothing so strong and fortunate as I. It was myself, my brother and his son who brought you home, and boldly did outdare the dangers of the time. You swore to us, and you did swear that oath at Doncaster, that you did nothing purpose against the state, nor claim no further than your new-formed right, the seat of Gaunt, dukedom of Lancaster. To this we swore our aid, but in short space it rained down fortune, showering on your head, and such a flood of greatness fell on you, you took occasion to be quickly wooed, to gripe the general sway into your hand, forgot your oath to us at Doncaster, and being fed by us, you used us so as that ungentle gull, the cuckoo's bird, useth the sparrow, did oppress our nest, grew by our feeding to so great a bulk that even our love durst not come near your sight for fear of swallowing. But with nimble wing we were enforced, for safety's sake, to fly out of your sight and raise this present head.
These things indeed you have articulate proclaimed at market crosses, read in churches. To face the garment of rebellion with some fine colour that might please the eye of fickle changelings and poor discontents.
In both your armies there is many a soul shall pay full dearly for this encounter if once they join in trial. Tell your nephew, the Prince of Wales doth join with all the world in praise of Henry Percy. By my hopes this present enterprise set off his head. I do not think a braver gentleman, more active, valiant, or more valiant young, more daring, or more bold is now alive, to grace this latter age with noble deeds. For my part, I may speak it to my shame, I have a truant been to chivalry. And so I hear he doth account me too. Yet this before my father's majesty. I am content that he should take the odds of his great name and estimation, and will, to save the blood on either side, try fortune with him.
in a single fight.
And, Prince of Wales, so dare we venture thee, albeit considerations infinite do make against it. No, good Worcester, no. We love our people well, even those we love that are misled upon your cousin's part, and will they take the offers of our grace, both he and they and you? Yea, every man shall be my friend again, and I'll be his. So tell your cousin, bring me word what he will do. But if he will not yield, rebuke and red correction wait on us, and they shall do their office. So be gone. We will not now be troubled with reply. We offer fair, take it advisedly.
Hal, if thou seest me down in the field, bestride me so. 'Tis but an act of friendship.
Nothing but a colossus can do thee that friendship. Say thy prayers and farewell.
I would 'twere bedtime, Hal, and all well.
Why, thou owest God a death.
'Tis not due yet. I should be loath to pay him before his day. What need I trouble him that calls not on me. Well, 'tis no matter. Honor pricks me on. Aye, but how if honor prick me off when I be on? How then? Can honor set to a leg? No. Or an arm? No. Or take away the grief of a wound? No. Honor hath no skill in surgery then? No. What is honor? A word? What is this word? Honor. Here. A trim reckoning. Who hath it? He that died a Wednesday. Doth he hear it? No. Doth he feel it? No. Ah, 'tis insensible then. Aye, to the dead. Will it not live for the living? No. Why? Detraction will not suffer it. Therefore, I'll none of it. Honor is a mere scutcheon. And so ends my catechism.
Oh, no, Sir Richard. My nephew must not know the liberal and kind offer of the king. 'Twere best he did. Then are we all undone. 'Tis not possible. It cannot be the king should keep his word in loving us. He will suspect us still, and find a time to punish this offence in other faults. Suspicion all our lives shall be stuck full of eyes. My nephew's trespass may be well forgot. It had the excuse of youth and heat of blood, and an adopted name of privilege. A hair-brained Hotspur governed by a spleen. All his offences live on my head and upon his father's. We did train him on, and his corruption being ta'en from us, we as the spring of all shall pay for all. Therefore, good cousin, let not Harry know in any case the offer of the king.
Deliver what you will. I'll say it is so.
My Lord of Westmoreland? Uncle, what news?
The king will bid you battle presently.
Defiant by the Lord of Westmoreland?
Lord Douglas, go you and tell him so.
Marry and shall, and very willingly.
There is no seeming mercy in the king.
Did you beg any, God forbid?
I told him gently of our grievances, of his oath-breaking, which he mended thus. He calls us rebels, traitors, and will scourge with haughty arms his hateful nameness. The Prince of Wales stepped forth before the king, and nephew challenged you to single fight.
Would the quarrel lay upon our heads, and that no man might draw a short breath today but I and Harry Monmouth. Tell me, how seemed this tasking? Showed it in contempt?
No, by my soul. I never in my life did hear a challenge urged more modestly. Unless a brother should a brother dare to gentle exercise and proof of arms.
I will embrace him with a soldier's arm, that he shall shrink under my courtesy.
Arms, gentlemen, to arms! For I have thrown a brave defiance in King Henry's teeth. Arm! Arm with speed! Fellow soldiers!
Friends, better consider what you have to do. But I that have not well the gift of tongue can lift your blood up with persuasion.
More! Here are letters for you.
I cannot read them now! Oh, gentlemen, the time of life is short. To spend that shortness basely were too long if life did ride upon a dial's points till ending at the arrival of an hour. If we live to tread on kings. If die, brave death when princes die with us. Now for our consciences. The arms are fair when the intent of bearing them is just.
My lord, prepare! The king comes on apace!
I thank him that he cuts me from my tail, for I profess not talking, only this. Let each man do his best. And here draw I a sword, whose temper I intend to stain with the best blood that I can meet withal in the adventure of this perilous day. Now, Esperance, Percy, and Ceylon! Hold all the lofty instruments of war! For heaven to ask, some of us never shall a second time do such a courtesy.
That in the battle that thou crossest me, what honour dost thou seek upon my head?
Oh, then my name is Douglas, and I do halting in the battle thus because some tell me that thou art the king.
They tell thee true.
Oh, Douglas, hadst thou fought at home than thus, I never had triumphed upon a Scot.
All's done, all's won. Here breathless lies the king.
Where?
Here.
This Douglas know. I know this face full well. A gallant knight he was. His name was Blunt. Terribly furnished like the king himself.
Ah, fool. Go with thy soul whither it goes. A borrowed title hast thou bought too dear. Ah, why didst thou tell me thou art the king?
The king hath many marching in his coats.
Now, by my sword, I will kill all his coats. I'll murder all his wardrobe, piece by piece, until I meet the king.
Though I escape shot at London, I fear the shot here. Here is no scoring but upon the plate. Chop, who are you? Sir Walter Blunt. There's honour for you. Here's no vanity. Zounds, I am as hot as molten lead and as heavy. God keep lead out of me. I need no more weight than my own bowels. I've led me rogues where they are peppered. There is but 3 out of me 150 left alive, and they're at town's end to beg during life. Who comes here?
What? Sit thou idle here, I prithee give me thy sword.
Hal, I prithee give me leave to breathe a while. Turk Gregory has never done such deeds in arms, and I have done this day. I have paid Percy. I have made him safe.
He is indeed, and living to kill thee. I prithee give me thy sword.
Nay, my God, Hal, if Percy be alive, thou getst not my sword. But thou canst have me pistol if thou wilt.
What is in the case? Give it me.
'Tis here, 'tis hot, 'tis hot. Here's that will sack a city.
Is it a time to jest and dally now?
I pray thee, Harry, withdraw thyself. Thou bleedest too much. Lord John of Lancaster, go you with him.
Not I, my lord, in death I did bleed too. I do beseech your majesty, make up! It's your retirement to amaze your friends.
I will do so. Against much Blunt, lead him to his tent.
Come, my lord, I'll lead you to your tent. Leave me, my lord, I do not need your help. To God forbid a shallow scratch should drive the Prince of Wales from such a field as this. We breathe too long. Come, cousin Westmoreland, our duty this way now. For God's sake, come! My God, thou hast deceived me, Lancaster. I never thought thee lord of such a spirit. Before I loved thee as a brother, John, but now I do respect thee as my soul.
I shall hold Lord Percy at the point with lustier maintenance than I did look for from such an outgrown warrior.
All this boy lends mettle to us all.
Hydra's heads. I am the Douglas, fatal to all those that bear those colours on them. What art thou that counterfeits the person of a king? The king himself. Oh, Douglas grieves at heart so many of his shadows thou hast seen, but not the very king. I have 2 boys seek Percy and thyself about the field. But since thou fall'st on me so luckily, I will assay thee and defend thyself. I fear thou art another counterfeit, and yet in faith thou bearest thee like a king. But mine I am sure thou art. Let thou be, and thus I win thee.
All of thy hate, vile Scots! It is the Prince of Wales that threatens thee, who never promiseth, but he means to pay. Cheerly, my lord. Have mercy of grace. Sir Nicholas Gawsey hath for succour sent, and so hath Clifton. Out to Clifton straight.
No. Stay and breathe a while. Oh, hast redeemed thy lost opinion, and shouldst thou make some tender of my life in this fair rescue thou hast brought to me.
Oh, God, they did me too much injury that ever said I hearken for thy death.
Make up to Clifton. I'll to Sir Nicholas Gawsey.
If I mistake not, thou art Harry Monmouth.
Thou speakst as if I would deny my name.
My name is Harry Percy.
Why then, I see a very valiant rebel of that name. I am the Prince of Wales. And think not, Harry, to share with me in glory any more. 2 stars keep not their motion in one sphere. Nor can one England brook a double reign of Harry Percy and the Prince of Wales.
Nor shall it, Harry. For the hour has come to end the one of us, and would to God thy name and arms were now as great as mine.
I'll make it greater ere I pass from thee. And all the budding honours on my crest I crop to make a garland for my brow.
I will no longer brook thy vanities.
You'll find this no boy's play, I assure you.
Douglas!
You shall have it.
Harry, thou hast robbed me of my youth. I'd better brook the loss of brittle life than those proud titles thou hast won of me. They wound my thoughts worse than thy soul my flesh. But thus the slave of life and lifetime's full. And time's thick survey of all the world must have stopped. Oh, I could prophesy, but that the earthy and cold hand of death lies on my tongue. No, Percy, thou art dust, and food for
worms, brave Percy. Fare thee well, great heart. ambition, how much art thou shrunk? And that this body did contain a spirit, a kingdom for it was too small a ground. And now, 2 pieces of the vilest earth is room enough. This earth that bears thee dead bears not alive so stout a gentleman. Adieu, and take thy praise with thee to heaven. Thy ignominy sleep with thee in the grave, but not remembered in thy epitaph. What? Old acquaintance, could not all this flesh keep in a little life? What, Jack? Farewell. Oh, I should have a heavy miss of thee if I were much in love with vanity. Death hath not struck so fat a deer today, though many deer are in this bloody fray. Embowelled will I see thee by and by. Till then, in blood, my noble Percy lie.
Embowelled. If thou embowelst me today, I'll give you leave to powder me and eat me too tomorrow. Zoons! It was time to counterfeit. All that hot termagant Scot had paid me. Scot and lot too. The better part of valour is discretion. And by that better part, I have saved my life. I am afraid of this gunpowder, Percy, though he be dead. What if he should counterfeit too and rise? By my faith, I'm afraid he would prove the better counterfeit. I'll make him sure. Yea, and I'll swear I killed him. Nothing confutes me but eyes. Nobody sees me. Therefore, sirrah, with a new wound in your thigh, come you along with me.
Come, Brother John. Full bravely hast thou fleshed thy maiden sword.
But soft, whom have we here? Did you not tell me this fat man was dead?
I did. I saw him dead, breathless and bleeding on the ground. Art thou alive? Or is it fantasy that plays upon our eyesight? Speak, we will not trust our eyes without our ears. Thou art not what thou seemst.
Nay, that's certain. I am no double man. If I be not John Falstaff, then I be a Jack. Here lies Percy. If your father will do me any honour, so. If not, let him kill the next Percy for himself. I look to be made Duke or Earl, I can assure you.
Why, Percy, I killed myself and saw thee dead.
Didst thou? Lord, how the world is given to lying. I grant you I was down and out of breath, but so was he. But we rose both of an instant and fought a long hour by Shrewsbury clock.
This is the strangest tale that ever I heard.
This is the strangest fellow, Brother John. Come, bear your luggage nobly on your back. For my part, if a lie may do thee grace, I'll gild it with the happiest terms I have. The trumpet sounds retreat. The day is ours. Come, brother, to the highest of the field to see what friends are living who are dead.
Well, I'll follow, as they say, for reward. He that rewards me, let heaven reward him. Well, if I grow great, I'll grow less, for I'll purge and leave sack and live cleanly, as a nobleman should.
started rebellion find rebuke. Well-spirited Worcester. Did not we send grace, pardon, and terms of love to all of you? And wouldst thou turn our offers contrary, misuse the tenor of thy kinsman's trust? 3 knights upon our party slain today, a noble earl, and many a creature else had been alive this hour, if like a Christian thou hadst truly borne betwixt our armies true intelligence.
What I have done, my safety urged me to. And I embrace this fortune patiently, since not to be avoided it falls on me.
Bear Worcester to the death, and Vernon too. Other offenders we will pause upon. How goes the field?
The noble Scot Lord Douglas, when he saw the fortunes of the day quite turned from him and noble Percy slain, and all his men upon the foot of fear fled with the rest. And falling from a hill, he was so bruised that the pursuers took him. At my tent the Douglas is, and I beseech your majesty, I may dispose of him.
With all my heart.
Then, brother John of Lancaster, to you this honourable vantage shall belong. Go to the Douglas, and deliver him up to his pleasures, ransomless and free. His valour, shown upon our crests today, hath taught us how to cherish such high deeds, even in the bosom of our adversaries.
I thank your grace for this high courtesy.
This then remains, that we divide our power. You, Sir John, and my cousin Westmoreland, towards York shall bend you with your dearest speed, to meet Northumberland and the prelate Scroop, who, as we hear, are busily in arms. Myself and you, son Harry, will towards Wales, to fight with Glendower and the Earl of March. Rebellion in this land shall lose his sway, meeting the check of such another day. And since this business so fair is done, let us not leave till all our own be won.